Hi guys! Continuing with the Naruto theme, let's make a morph from Naruto to the nine-tailed fox today. Let's go! Let's create a new file. In the settings, I select square, frames per second to 12, duration to 2. Press draw. I already have two sketches, between which we will add intermediate frames. Let's first center them on the canvas. By clicking on the timer, let's select Show Onion Skin. Seeing the adjacent frames, let's place the sketches exactly one above the other. Okay, we leave Naruto as the first frame. Our animation will last 2 seconds, so we place the nine-tailed fox approximately in the center in the first second. We are now in Draw and Paint mode, so we collapse the panel into a flip book. Now we will add intermediate frames. The first head movement will be from top to bottom. To do this, let's first draw a frame with counteraction. Draw Naruto's head a little higher, as if throwing it back. Moving on. Let's adjust the visibility of the adjacent frames so that only the previous two are visible. It will be easier for me to draw this way. Now we start moving the head down. Don't forget that the head is round, so the face kind of twists. In the next frame, I draw such a tilt of the head in which we see the nose from below. The sketch can be made very simple for now, without details. Further in the frame, only a piece of the bandage remains, and ears on the sides. I begin to smooth out the hair a little so that they don't stick out so much. And the next frame is just a circle. Let's watch the first preview now. It looks pretty smooth. What do you think? Let's add a short pause at the beginning. I duplicate the first frame twice. Great. We have 6 frames left to morph to the nine-tailed fox. Now the fox's head should appear from top to bottom. Let's adjust the visibility of the adjacent frames again, so that the front frame is visible. So, now we should have a fox's chin. Draw something like this. And also sketches of the ears. Now everything should not be very pronounced. Then the head turns a little lower. We can already see the nose. And we begin to form the fur. In the next frame, the head already looks more like the final sketch, but it is still directed upwards. Let's reduce the transparency of the base. One more frame. Here we draw the nose somewhere in the middle between the adjacent frames, a little lower. The rest is also located approximately in the center between the adjacent ones. Something went wrong here and I skipped one frame. We will return to it later. And now one more frame, almost repeating the final sketch, a little higher. Moving on. Skipping the existing sketch, let's add a bounce. Draw a frame, tilting the nine-tailed fox's head a little lower. I drag our original sketch and duplicate it, then place it back. This is necessary so that the duplicate does not shift the frames. Let's go back to the missing frame. I adjust the visibility of the neighboring ones. And draw a frame between the existing lines. Let's look at the preview. It looks good, there is some rattling, but for now it's a sketch. Let's move on to the second part. The next movement will be a left to right turn. First, we also draw the counteraction. We move the head a little to the left. We want a looped animation, so let's duplicate the first frame with Naruto's face and place it at the end of the composition. Okay. Now we draw a frame with the fox's head turning to the right. Next, we draw almost in profile. After that, we start moving towards the rounding of the shape. The ears are less pronounced, the nose is no longer visible. So, it seems that we are short of frames. Let's go to the settings and increase the duration to 3. Great. We move Naruto's face further along the timeline. In the next frame, the shape becomes more like Naruto's hair. Next frame. We draw the profile, we see the nose, ear, and bandage. Let's go back a couple of frames and draw the appearance of the bandage. Moving on. The head is already about 3/4. Now we draw a frame slightly to the right of our sketch, creating a bounce. And duplicate it on the main sketch. So, we have 7 more frames left until the end of the composition. Let's see what we got. Okay, what can we do? Let's stretch the central frame. To do this, hold down the side edge, hold down again on the screen, and drag to the right. Now its duration is 5 frames. And also stretch the very last one. This will create small pauses. Let's build our preview. Great, the base is ready. Now let's move on to the details. I finished drawing the stripes on Naruto's face, and also the hair, the rivets on the headband and the symbol. I add eyes where I missed them. Next, we add details to the fox. We draw the teeth, finish drawing the darkening near the eyes themselves, the eyebrows. I clarify all this in each frame. and also clarifications in the last part, when the head is already turning back. Let's look at the preview. I want to add helping lines when turning. We draw 2 stripes when the head goes down. In the following frames, we gradually reduce them. And the same lines when the second turn occurs. Okay, let's correct the first stripes a little. Guys, our final draft is ready. The next step is cleanup. First, we go to the timeline edit mode and group all the layers. We change the transparency through the action panel. Go to the Draw and Edit mode. I will use black color and Oberon brush. We collapse the panel in Flipbook, and we start drawing the outline on top of our sketch. Here it is important to make the lines even, as this will be the final. We try to repeat the base, but carefully look at what we get. I temporarily turned off the base to see the result. I immediately make several adjustments. Okay, let's turn on the sketch back. Next, I draw the repeating frames again, but you can simply stretch them. Now all that remains is to repeat this on each frame until the end of the animation. This is the most painstaking and rather long work. Let's speed up here to show the result. So, I got such a clean outline. Later, I added some fill to the spots around the fox's eyes and the color of the pupils. I also sped up the animation a little to 15 frames per second. What do you think about today's lesson? Was it useful or interesting for you? Please like my videos to support them. And see you in the next videos, Dattebayo!